everybody, Lawman Mike with www.lawmanguitars.com. You know, I don't get a lot of basses, but when I do, they're cool. Now this one is no exception. What I've got for you today is a 1971 Gibson SB300. Now a lot of you guys are going, SB300, what's that? Well, they only made these for 2 years. These were made in 1970 and 1971, and we were trying to date this, and the serial number doesn't help us, and we couldn't find pots. But the owner who had this guitar sold it to us, said he got it in 1971. Well, let's see, it could have been in 1970, but he says, no, it's in 1971. So it's one of those 2 years, okay? I will grant you that. Now, what is it about these, the basses that made them so unusual? Well, for one thing, they use these single coil pickups. Now, these have a stamped right in the plastic Gibson, so that also helps us identify the era of these pickups, and they sound really good. They're big and full and beefy. A lot of their single coil pickups, and even some of the Fender single coil bass pickups, got a little thin. These are they got some meat to them. I like these a lot. And then they've got this really cool bridge, which is underneath the cover, which we'll talk about in a minute. But they have two controls. They have controls on-off for both pickups, volume and tone. So very, very simple to operate. They didn't weigh anything. I mean, it's very SG looking, and it's all original that I can tell. It even has the Gibson branded tuners, which I'm glad it says Gibson on the back, because I would have thought maybe those aren't original, but boy, they certainly say Gibson on them. Now, the body on these are mahogany, the neck is maple, so it's very, very well made, and I have to say this this cocoa mahogany color walnut stain is just really in good shape, and it's got lots of finish crazing. Now, let's talk about finish crazing. What is finish crazing? I get asked that all the time. They go, oh, does that mean the body's cracked? No, it does not mean the body is cracked. What it means is this very thin lacquer that they sprayed back in the good old days was very susceptible to all sorts of stuff. It's susceptible to heat and cold. It was also susceptible to humidity. So as these things changed, or you left your guitar out, you know, after you went in to get something to eat after the gig and it got to be 20 below, your finish reacted to that a little bit back in the day. So what it gets is these little bitty fine scratch looking things in here, and it's called finish crazing. Now, for those of you who, I don't mean to talk down to anybody, but those that don't know, this is something you look for in vintage guitars. I mean, you want to see finish crazing, especially in these Gibson guitars, because it tells you the finish hasn't been touched. So we know this is an original finish on here because of the finish crazing. But it's in really, really beautiful shape. We really didn't have to do much at all. I did put some new strings on it. The strings were absolutely shot. So there is some new strings on it. But one of the things I thought was really cool is this bridge cover. I sold probably just a couple months ago a Gibson ES330, I believe. It was a blonde, about the same age, and guess what? It also had this very same bridge cover. So apparently they were able to swap out both the bass and the electric guitar bridge covers, and I tell you, if this wasn't on here, try to find one. I mean, they're impossible to find. So I was really happy that it has this. Now, I want to point out that the previous owner also, somewhere along the line, upgraded the bridge. Now, don't panic, okay? Don't panic. The bridge on this is excellent, and if you're going to play this bass, you're going to leave this bridge that's on it. However, for the collectors out there, or those who want their guitars to be absolutely original, like yourself, like myself, the original bridge is in the case. So I'm happy to tell you, I've got the original bridge. If you want to change it out, go ahead. But I'm going to tell you, I think you're going to want to use this bridge, especially if you're going to gig this guitar. Now, this guitar, take a look at the wear on this neck. My goodness, this thing has been played and played and played, and it shows. I have to say, the original frets still have a life in them. I would say it probably has about half the life left in them, so as long as this thing was played, and it was played a lot, you still got another whole life to go in these frets. So I would not be afraid of these frets at all. And for most people, these frets are going to last you the rest of your lifetime on playing. And there's no indication at all that the neck has ever been reset. And it's very tight to the body. Action is just awesome. And for a guitar player, not a bass player. It's nice to have low action. So that is really great. It plays awesome. Now I've been playing on what I believe is the neck pickup. Let's go to the bridge pickup. Wow, that really sounds great. And by the way, I'm not even playing through a bass amp. I'm playing through an old, actually not an old, but a Fender Deluxe with transistors. So it's not even that cool of an amp, and it still sounds awesome. So let's put both the pickups on. Wow. So this bass, you're going to love it, and it weighs nothing. You know, for you P-bass guys that are starting to have back problems because of all the time you've spent with your P-bass, you know what? This thing would be a pleasure on your back. Hang this one around your neck about the second or third set, and your back is going to thank you. I have to say, we usually have original cases for our guitars here at Lawman Guitars. I have to admit, I don't have the original case. I've got a really cool square hardshell case that goes with it, but it's not the original case, so I'm not even going to show it. But somewhere out there's a case. If I can find it, I'm going to hunt for it, and who knows, by the time this guitar gets sold, I might have the original case. Until then, you don't have original case, you're going to get a reissue square case. So you get this really cool bass, though. I got to tell you, this thing is awesome. The pickups sound great. It's got all original parts, original tuners, original nut and frets. It's absolutely beautiful. If you're looking for one that doesn't look like you're a rookie, this is the one. I'm telling you what, you show up to the gig with this one, they're going to go, whoa, look at that. So anyway, check it out. All our cool guitars, basses. We've got things like parts and cases. I've got all kinds of stuff that we sell. Go to reverb.com. That's where 100% of our inventory is today. Just go to reverb.com, type in Lawman Guitars in the search line. You'll see 200 of the coolest guitars you've ever seen. I promise. Thanks a lot for watching today.